I believe that the CoComelon movie is going to flop. I think it's going to lose money for Universal and DreamWorks, get slated by critics, and disappear from cultural memory roughly 6 weeks after release. Here is why. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Snipe snap, CoComelon has over 200 million subscribers. It is one of the most recognized children's brands in the entire world. Disney Plus just spent serious money to acquire it. How could you possibly say that a film built on that level of brand recognition is going to fail? It's a fair challenge, so let me walk you through it. Reason 1. The audience is too young to attend movies. CoComelon's core demographic is 2 and 3-year-olds, literal babies. And 2-year-olds are barely capable of sitting through an actual film. Picture the actual scene at a Saturday morning CoComelon screening. You are paying 15 quid a ticket to sit in a dark room for 90 minutes. The room contains, at minimum, 40 toddlers. Some of them have not napped. At least 3 of them are crying within the first 5 minutes because the speakers are too loud for their tiny ears. 2 of them need a wee 12 minutes in. Another one is screaming because his sippy cup has rolled under the seat in front and the angle is bad. There is a sticky patch on the floor that is optimistically fruit juice. Someone's toddler has stood up on the chair and is now performing the wheels on the bus actions in time with the screen. The smell is a complex blend of popcorn and damp nappy. Seriously though, cinema as a format requires sustained attention from the viewer. CoComelon's entire design philosophy is that sustained attention is impossible at this age, which is why the standard videos cut every 2 seconds. Universal and DreamWorks have somehow looked at all of this and gone, yes, let's put it in a quiet room for 90 minutes. The product at the venue are seriously, fundamentally mismatched. The film should be on YouTube where the audience already lives, or Netflix where the spin-off CoComelon Lane already lives. The natural habitat of this product is the iPad on a sticky kitchen table at 5 p.m, not a 200-seater auditorium with a Dolby Atmos sound system. Quick reminder to hit subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Thank you. By going theatrical, Universal and DreamWorks have skipped the format that fits the audience and gone straight for the format that does not. Reason 2. CoComelon has no fandom. Yes, CoComelon has viewers. By God, it has viewers. But it has no actual fans. And these are completely different things. Bluey has fans. Real ones. Adults who own the merchandise, unironically. Kids who cry when their favourite episode ends. Walk down any high street and you will see kids wearing Spider-Man t-shirts and Bluey backpacks. Frozen costumes are everywhere. Even the Paw Patrol kids are kitted out in branded gear. What you don't see kids wearing is CoComelon t-shirts. Because nobody is a fan of CoComelon. Nobody is emotionally attached to JJ. He is background noise. He's the thing parents put on so they can have a shower. The relationship between the audience and the show is parasocial in the same way the relationship between you and your fridge hum is parasocial. The fridge hum is there, it fills the silence, but you would not pay £15 to watch it for 90 minutes in a dark room. A film needs actual fans to drive opening weekend, and CoComelon, for all its brand recognition, does not have any actual fans. If you do know any CoComelon fans, then please let me know in the comments. I've never met one myself. Reason 3. The product itself has nothing in it. This is the bit that makes the theatrical release genuinely insane. CoComelon, as you almost certainly know, is a YouTube channel that posts animated nursery rhymes. JJ has a family. They sing the wheels on the bus. They sing If You're Happy and You Know It. There is a bath song, a bedtime song, and various other songs about everyday activities. And that, what I just described, is the show. There is no plot. There is no villain. Nothing happens, then nothing happens again. Now, technically, CoComelon has characters. JJ, his family, his friends. There is even a 100-page internal Moonbug document detailing their backstories. But on screen, none of them are characters in any way that matters. They have names without personalities. They have designs without stakes. They never seem to grow or change. Indeed, they have no relationships beyond singing at one another. And the company itself knows this. The New Yorker reported last year that Moonbug already understands their YouTube product has no story, which is exactly why in 2023 they made a Netflix spin-off called CoComelon Lane specifically to add a plot. It was billed in the trade press as the franchise's first ever narrative series featuring an actual story arc. First ever, after 15 years. The company has effectively admitted in their own marketing rollouts that the original product has no story arc to speak of. And now they're building the theatrical film on the same plotless foundation as the original. Reason 4, there is nothing for the rest of the family. Look, CoComelon's audience is small children. We get that. But in this movie, I don't think there's going to be anything of interest for anyone over the age of 4. It's highly unlikely there'll be a romantic subplot. There'll almost certainly not be a third act twist. And most of the good children's movies are at least watchable for the adults in the room. Pixar slips in adult-coded jokes for the parents. Bluey writes for 2 demographics at once. Ice Age manages a 4-quadrant appeal. Every age group finds something to laugh at. CoComelon does none of this. The film will exclusively be for children too young to sit through it, watched alongside parents who will resent every minute, and older siblings who would literally rather be anywhere else. Spare a thought for the older siblings, by the way. The 7 and 8-year-olds whose 2-year-old brother has decreed that the family outing is CoComelon. They would much rather be watching Ice Age. They'd much rather be watching anything with an actual story. Instead, they are sat in a cinema watching nursery rhymes designed for someone 5 years younger, and they cannot leave because they are not old enough to walk home. Their entire weekend will be hijacked by the smallest member of the family. And if you've got younger siblings, you know how that feels. So, those are the 4 reasons. Now, let me explain to you how I think this whole release situation is gonna play out. Critics will eviscerate it. Word of mouth will kill the second weekend. Screenings will empty out by the end of February. The film will limp through to streaming within 60 days and quietly disappear from the conversation. And 2 weeks before it drops, Ice Age Boiling Point arrives in cinemas. So, CoComelon is launching directly behind a much more established cinematic franchise. Compared to Ice Age 2 weeks earlier, which has built decades of family loyalty and cross-generational appeal, CoComelon will look like exactly what it is. A YouTube product, dressed in a tuxedo, walking into a venue it absolutely does not belong in. Universal and DreamWorks have made a category error. They have looked at 200 million subscribers and assumed it converts to box office. It does not. YouTube viewing is free at the point of use. A real cinema ticket, on the other hand, costs real money. Parents who happily let their kid watch hours of CoComelon on the iPad will absolutely not pay £30 to take the family to see it on the big screen. And we've seen this exact mistake before. The Ryan's World movie in 2024 was built on a kid YouTuber with hundreds of millions of subscribers and tanked. Massive YouTube subscriber counts do not translate to box office successes. And Universal is about to learn that lesson again with several more $1 million on the line. So, my prediction, the film will flop. Oogie Loves still holds the crown for the biggest children's film disaster, and realistically, CoComelon will probably not break that record. But I do expect it to underperform significantly, get review bombed on opening weekend, and be remembered as the moment the industry stopped pretending YouTube subscriber counts meant anything in cinemas. Now, here is the part that should worry us. If the film does succeed despite all of this, if pure brand recognition is now enough to fill cinemas regardless of plot, character, story, or any reason to exist, that tells us something far worse about where we are culturally. Because CoComelon is the precursor. CoComelon is the blueprint. Everything we now call AI slop, the autoplay bait, the recursive nursery rhyme remixes, the channels engineered for retention rather than meaning, CoComelon got there a decade before generative AI did. And if this succeeds in cinemas, then that means that the slop is winning. Massive credit, by the way, to LPS Cream Collie 78, whose video is what put this situation on my radar. Go check our channel out, link in description. Smash that like button if you made it to the end. Do it for my cat, Leroy. Until next time, snipe, snap, out.